Hello guys, I'm Ellie Rose and I'm here talking to you about Saturn in Aquarius. Now, Saturn in Aquarius is happening from March 21st, 2020, and it is a really exciting time because it is basically signalling some big changes for all of us, but also on a very individual level. So previously to this, we have had Saturn in Capricorn. Now, this was throughout 2019 and the first couple of months of 2020, and Saturn is at home in Capricorn, so naturally a lot of astrologers, me included, were like, yeah, Saturn in Capricorn, this is an exciting time. But actually what this was about creating some responsibility in our lives, creating some commitment in our lives, whether that is in your relationships, commitment to work, commitment to sorting your finances. It's basically just like getting our lives sorted out. So throughout 2019 and the first couple of months of 2020, Saturn in Capricorn has been quite heavy. Now that we're moving into Saturn in Aquarius, it's a completely different vibe, and this is basically taking a look at these rules that we set and these goals that we set and all of these things that we said, yeah, this is what I want my life to look like. We're now taking a look at that and saying, hey, actually that wasn't going to work, and hey, actually that's really exhausting, and actually that doesn't suit me, that's not aligned with me, and then we're dismantling all of these things that we set for ourselves and trying a slightly different route. Now, why would we do that? You might ask. That seems like a lot of a waste of time. And actually this is how we start to reach forward into like new inspired territory. So by that I mean we can't ever really do something new unless we look at the old stuff and we say, okay, that's not what's working for us. So Saturn in Aquarius 2020 is all about finding new solutions to old problems or finding new solutions to new problems. So you will see in the news there is so much stuff going on, stuff about politics, stuff about these new governments that we've got going on, whether or not you like them. I'm not going to get into the politics, but there's a lot of change happening there, and we've got all these new viruses coming out. We have got people starting to work on the internet instead of in offices. Everything is new and crazy, and it's basically like lining up like a path towards the future. Aquarius is very much about the future, and you might have already seen this in like some of the kind of basic astrology buzzwords for Aquarius. Is all about the future. It's all about thinking, how can I get from here to here in a way that is going to support me. Saturn in Capricorn was more about, okay, what do we already know that we can do with this? So what you will experience throughout 2020 is perhaps a change in your life that is completely unexpected. You will not be able to predict what happens to you. So this is actually beneficial for a lot of people, because for a lot of people, they're wanting to get out of their continued financial rut. There are a lot of people that are desperate to change their lives. They're desperate to start a new job, to start a new career, start a business. There are lots of people that have got the same relationship patterns where they're kind of, they're in abusive relationships, or they're just in relationships that are not exciting them anymore, and they're not feeling aligned with their partner. They're not able to communicate with their partner. So a lot of people are going to experience serious shake-ups in 2020 for Saturn in Aquarius. Just because it's like using a completely different mind. It's like somebody else's brain. So what you will find, particularly for the first couple of months of Saturn in Aquarius, is that you are starting to have kind of answers to problems that completely evaded you before. So you all of a sudden go, oh, I know how to deal with this problem, or oh, I don't want to do this anymore, or oh, I do want to do this anymore. It's like these kind of radical changes of mindset. So in addition, for specific people, this is going to be what's called their Saturn returns. So anybody who had Saturn in Aquarius will be having what's called their Saturn return. So this is people right now that are aged around 28 to 30 and 58 to 60. And again, you can say in nearly 90 if you're watching, awesome. So yeah, these people are going to be experiencing what's called a Saturn return. Now, this is a time in your life where all of a sudden you start to get real on something and you start to say, I want this, I don't want this. And this is a very, very profound time for a lot of people. So a lot of people will find themselves getting into relationships or leaving relationships. A lot of people will find themselves starting a business, leaving a job, finding a home, moving countries, going traveling, like these kind of things, just big life changes. So if you have your Saturn return, this is something that you will experience during this year. If you were born with Saturn in Leo, then you will be experiencing what's called your Saturn Opposition. This is kind of like a half Saturn return. So again, the same sort of principles will apply, except it will take a little bit of a choice for you. The Saturn return people, it's like you can't stop it, you know, you can't stop this like Wheel of Fortune changes where everything is just like shifting for you. With the Saturn in Leo people, if you're born with Saturn in Leo, you will find that you have to take a choice. So you have a question of whether or not to stay in the relationship. You have a question of whether or not to carry on that career. You have a choice on where to live or what to do. And you kind of have to make that leap, whether or not you want to do that. So those are for those particular people, and this Saturn in Aquarius will be very strong energy for you if you have Saturn in Aquarius or Saturn in Leo in your chart. For everybody else, it's still going to be big changes afoot for you. There's still going to be a lot of radical new thinking. There's still going to be restructuring of your beliefs. And in addition, it will come with an ability to detach your emotions. So far throughout 2019, we had 3 Mercury retrogrades in water. In 2020, we also have 3 Mercury retrogrades in water. I have another video about that if you want to check that out, just to know a little bit more about 2020's 3 Mercury retrogrades. This is emotional energy at its highest. So with Saturn in Aquarius, this is helping us to detach from that emotion and to make choices objectively. So to not get so stuck in like being triggered and being upset by other people and being kind of like feeling sorry for ourselves. Like this is not at all what Saturn in Aquarius is about. So Saturn in Aquarius is going to help us to move past our emotions. It's going to help us to think more clearly. It's going to help us to like cut through the fog of, you know, I don't know what to do, and what if I upset this person, or, you know, what if this doesn't happen for me. It's about being very logical. It's about being very inspired as well. So I will pick you some tarot cards just to kind of give you a little bit of extra advice for Saturn in Aquarius, but these are the general themes. So let's see what we have got. Okay, we have got the Knave of Swords. So the Knave of Swords is about learning how to do communication in a new way, in a very kind of a young, youthful kind of way. So it can mean that we are very much at the beginning of a journey of new thinking, new mindsets. You are going to be experiencing a lot of shifts in the way that you speak to other people, in the way that you identify yourself. Maybe you start dressing a little bit differently, maybe you start talking a little bit differently, maybe you get more confident. Saturn in Aquarius can bring you all sorts of exciting goodies, but you do have to shift your mindset first. So let go of anything that feels like traditional to you. So something that you've said, but I've always been like that. That is not the attitude to have in Saturn in Aquarius. It's going to shake you up. It's going to make you a completely new version of yourself. So let's have another one. Okay, we have got 2 here. Okay, we've got the 7 of Wands and the 3 of Swords. Now, both of these cards people don't tend to like, because the 3 of Swords is like heartbreak and disappointment. 7 of Wands is about challenges and diversity and all this kind of struggle. These 2 cards are telling me that in 2020, Saturn in Aquarius is going to help you to be able to deal with these things a lot better. So a lot of what I was saying before, less emotion. It's going to help you to be more practical about things. It's going to help you to approach situations with a different kind of mindset. For some of you, there will be endings of relationships this year. For some of you, there will be challenges this year, but you're going to be able to approach it with way more confidence. It's going to help you to change your life. It's not going to just be the end. Like with this guy, he's laying here and he's sobbing. In the moment, he's really upset. But on the horizon is the sun, and the dawn is coming, a new dawn is coming. So it's almost like in every ending is a beginning. So for those of you that are thinking to end something, just know that there is something new on its way too, and that will be better than what has previously been, because we're learning lessons and we're becoming new versions of ourselves, and we're becoming the version of ourselves that we're meant to be. Saturn in Aquarius is a lot to do with our identity, so it's almost like we'll be reborn in 2020 if we can, accept these challenges. We can be less emotional about it, and we can really start to see things in a new light. So that is all from me, guys. Obviously you can keep following my horoscopes, where I will continue to talk about what is happening in the astrological world. And yeah, if you want any more help, you can call our Circuit Future Advisors as well. So So much love, guys. Enjoy Saturn in Aquarius, and I'll see you soon.